Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back, everybody. Season 1, Episode 6 of the Starfall Collective. Matt is holding up a number of fingers that concurs with the number that came out of my mouth, so it must be true. Welcome back, everybody. We're looking forward to playing some live play D&D 5th edition, D&D Next, with all you fine folks probably watching us on YouTube. I'm joined, as always, by the master of disaster, the left barrel of the double barrel, Mr. David Farrell. Dave, why don't you wave and say hi to the, or give a thumbs up. Oh, little column A, little column B. Excellent. I love it. Give the people what they want, a dog and pony show.
Wave a thumbs up.
The man who is constantly sideways licking the screen or making a gape face in a sea of darkness, Mr. Dwight Canal. Dwight, you want to say hey?
Hi.
That's the voice of Dwight Canal. You've heard it here, folks. Matt, you want to say hi and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Matthew Talamini. I'm a writer and a web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island. You can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. MatthewTalamini.com, TALAMINI.com.
For you folks who are thrown off by phonetic Italian spellings. So, Robert, why don't you say hey to the folks and say a little something about yourself?
Hey, I'm Sir Robert Burbridge, and you can probably, at some point when you're listening to this, find stuff at thefarce.com. That's FARCE. So there you go.
Its spelling is a farce. Is it farcom or .net?
Oh, yeah, net. Because com is some like WordPress thing. It doesn't really matter. There's nothing there, and there's no one going there. So
Thefart.net.
That's right.
Surely someone has locked down that URL. Surely.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know that
Never mind, I'm not
35
gonna do
years
that.
ago, the other day, was the first domain name registration?
Golly, Moses. Wow. I can believe it. I can believe it. You've never steered me wrong yet. So, Dwight, was there anything that happened last week that you found particularly delightful, surprising, pleasing, horrific?
Horrific. I kept rolling ones.
That you did. Mightily. Con gusto. Dave, did anything happen that stuck out to you?
I rescued some very important baggage carts
Ooh, yes.
from a potential riot.
The TSA dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Saved some important baggage. Sir Robert?
Sure. A lot of people don't realize it, but Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics is an anagram for ethnic chaos machine.
That's true. I had forgotten about that.
And
write that down so I don't forget it again.
Harcourt is also a chaos machine, and that's delightful to me, and he will continue to be so.
However, he's a very woke chaos machine. None of his chaos is tied to any form of racial prejudice.
I mean, it may or may not be. He doesn't keep it in check.
That's true.
It's chaotic.
That's true. Who am I to know the limits of his motivations?
Yeah. Who am I to know the limits of my motivations?
No one.
I can't read or write.
Matthew, being literate, and I was going to say something else, but I probably shouldn't say that. Being literate, I'm sure you have a profound grasp upon the events of last week. Tell me anything notable.
Yeah, mostly Thack remembers.
I'm not literate.
Yeah, he said that. That's what he
By
meant.
implication, yes.
No,
you
I said
found
I
me.
can't read or write.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, Thack mostly remembers getting a note from a lady.
Ooh.
Lady
But
Nora.
also that there are lots of questions now. Like, people seem to be after him for nefarious reasons, and he's going to find out why.
Yeah, he will. Whether he likes it or not, you most likely will discover a number of things in the future.
You know, like it.
Right now, you guys are not in the fray of chaos in the city level. You guys are literally above all that. Where are you right now? Above the fray.
Under the tree.
We are like We're like above this super sweet waterfall.
Near the monastery.
It's a super sweet waterfall.
Oh man, there's so many rainbows.
It's just like pew, 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 pew. Rainbows shooting out everywhere.
The rainbows
Whatever I feel like.
are like the glory of Rouge.
Richard Chad,
man.
the Rainbow Guy.
We need some sick 80s music for this episode. We'll put that in post. Yeah, so you guys rode the arcane lift up the side of the mesa, up about 600 feet, a nauseating, dizzying height, and made it to the top where you were greeted by none other than
Master Edamame,
Edamame.
for whom I have questions.
Yes,
When I
you
get
do
it.
have questions, and that is where we pick back up, is with Master Edamame with his arm around Thack, saying, "Yes, come, we have much sake to drink and poetry to read." And remember, he looked over his shoulder at you, Mela, and said, "You have much to learn from the heart of this warrior poet. Come." And the Master Edamame with his arm around Thack's shoulders, the two of them begin walking up the path towards Master Edamame's home. Thack, do you have questions for Master Edamame?
Wise master,
Hmm.
do you
I like
know
this one.
of the council? Who are they? Have you heard of this?
Well, of course I've heard of them. I'm like, 400 years old. I've known about the council since they were running around taxing people and trying to do good by keeping the streets extra clean. But in the last several generations, they have grown ambitious. And with everything happening to the city, they have expanded their powers. They see themselves as something of a guardian of the people, a local governance of the people, by the people, for the people. There is goodwill towards the elven regime in place here, but there is a great deal of disrest and perhaps a lack of gratitude because the problem has gone on for as long as it has. The council needs to have control over the city, and they can be a bit heavy-handed about it at times.
Master Edamame, I'm from far away. I have not heard the news of this place. Tell me of this problem.
Well, for someone who does not know the news of this place, you seem to find yourself in the middle of it.
As ever.
Tell me, how did your performance go?
It was a smash hit.
Uh,
Right.
Master Edamame kind of leans back and makes eye contact with Mela and just kind of raises his eyebrows like, where did you get this guy? Like, okay. He leans back over and looks at you.
I literally saved him from prison.
That's what you say.
Well, I suppose there are worse places to look for help. I seem to recall the time I pulled you out of the brig. And he kind of gives you a wink, Mela. We'll have to maybe flash back to that someday. He turns and looks at you, Tashash, and he says, "Tell me, were you similarly ignominiously collected from imprisonment by my pupil, Mr. Master Lizard Folk?"
Yes, it was an unfortunate misunderstanding. Yes.
I suspected as much. You seem like gentlemen of... And he turns and makes eye contact with Harcourt, and he kind of swallows the word excellent character and just says, interesting and exceptional character. Tell me, Master Halfling, what brings you to this fair city in such an unfair time?
Oh, I just heard there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Wanted to see what it was, and I met Mela here, and he and I needed to get these two guys out of trouble, so we decided to. The details escape me at the moment, but the point is, here we
not
are.
Howard Watts. He
What's that?
too was in jail. Ha ha.
Oh yeah, I
Edamame.
was definitely in jail.
Wise
I'm
man.
good friends with the fire marshal, so we were checking things out from these. It doesn't matter the details, but the point is, here I am looking at the city, and I realize these guys could really use someone with my skill set to help them keep things under control. So I'm here at your service, and I'd love to get a tour of the place, or I can give myself a tour.
I would highly suggest keeping to the group and not giving yourself too liberal a tour. And this whole time, ever since you started talking Mud, he was busting out sake and cups and stuff, and everybody now has a cup in their hand that has several large gulps worth of sake in it. And he says, "To the health of the city." And he raises glasses with all of you. Does
A
everybody
bowl of
drink?
sake for all.
Do you grab the bowl of sake?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. He laughs and downs his, waits for you to take a sip, and then takes the bowl from you and takes a drink himself.
Oh, I meant every cup is a bowl to Harcourt.
Oh, gotcha. I see. Yeah, you've got your hands around it like this. Yes, I see what you mean. Okay.
But Thack does help himself to another portion.
Oh, yeah. So, Thack, as soon as you go to reach for it, make me a dexterity saving throw. Mela, Thack is about to completely inadvertently shame and humiliate your master by pouring his own glass at the table. Do you intervene? Do you try to beat him to it and pour the glass yourself?
Or do I hit him in the knuckles with my shillelagh?
That's up to you, my man. Do you want to make me any kind of insight check real quick?
Insight check.
Sure.
15 plus something.
If you strike Thack at your master's table, you will insult your master way more grievously than Thack would have by pouring his own drink. So probably don't want to.
What if I do it stealthily?
You could try to do that. Do you want to make me a sleight of hand check? Well, first of all, make me a contested reflex check against Thack.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a reflex check.
A contested reflex, a reflex contest.
There's no reflex.
Dexterity. Sorry,
Dexterity.
Sorry, it's really hard for me to shake 3.5.
I know.
All right, let's do this quickly. I don't want to take too much time on it. But Thack and Mela, both you guys roll me a d20 and add your dexterity bonus to it.
I did. 18.
18. Mela, what'd you got?
23.
Okay, if you want, you can make me a sleight of hand to whack Thack's hand out of the way, either using your shillelagh or your hand or whatever you want.
Ooh, dang it. 8.
An 8. Fortunately, Master Edamame is entirely engrossed in conversation with Harcourt and Tashash.
Could it be any other way?
What's that? Yeah, no. So he goes over to you and sits next to you, Tashash, and begins speaking in very, very simple, very broken lizard folk, saying, "I simple words forgive. 200." And then he makes 200 rutabaga moon duration toilet. No, I'm sorry. And he said, it has been far too long. Forgive me. I will stop butchering your native tongue, which is a beautiful one, might I add. And lizard folk poetry is far more worthy than folks of a smooth complexion like us normally give it credit for being. Would you grace us? Would you grace us, lizard folk, with some of your native poetry?
What is... Oh, yes.
Yeah, you don't even recognize the word for poetry. What's he talking about? What would be the most artistic kind of thing that lizard folk create?
In response, well, in answer to his request, Tashash begins reciting a list of all the possessions that they have in their wagons.
Okay. All right. Very nice. But do you do it with any kind of
Mame is
meter or
easily
anything, or do you just start
Nope.
rattling it off?
Just start listing them.
Edamame just kind of leans back, puts his hands behind his head, and says, music to my ears.
In the background, you can see Thak holding his hand and saying to Mela, "What was that for? I was just going to pour myself another drink."
Edamame turns and looks at Thak's hand, and Mela, make me a insight check.
Insight.
Can Thak make an insight check too to see
Sure,
if
you
thought
can.
that he was being rude?
Absolutely can. You
But this is
absolutely
about
can.
politeness.
6 plus insight. 8.
8 total.
8 total.
11 for Thak.
11 for Thak. Okay, you guys both just see Edamame just kind of staring blankly at the two of you, and he indicates to you, Mela, he nods his head to you, Mela, and says, "Please be so good as to fill the cup of my guest."
I gladly do it.
And he turns to you, Mud, and he says, "Surely a man of such vim and vigor as yourself is also a man of song and dance." And he hops up rather spryly compared to how he was walking with a cane. And he runs over to a cabinet, pulls it open, and you see a series of flutes and pipes and little dulcimer things. And he starts throwing musical instruments to all of you. And he throws a set of pipes to you, Harcourt. Do you have any ability to play musical instruments at all? Do you have any experience?
Yeah, I mean, performance is a big part of Harcourt's whole shtick.
Okay.
But more importantly, he is quite dexterous and not so much athletic, but acrobatic, and he does some really halfling dance.
Nice. Okay.
Brazilian tumbly, all kinds of crazy garbage stuff.
Okay. And I think he probably throws some little hand cymbals to you too.
Sure.
Then. And,
Castanets, anything like that. Doing flips off the walls. Let's get it rocking.
So Master Edamame begins singing in his slightly quavery old man voice some song about a troop of warriors that defeat an aboleth, and they come home and they get the entire town to party so hard that they burn the entire town down. And so the refrain of the song is something to do with everybody dancing in the ashes and singing in
Everybody
the black
dance now.
And so, yeah, Mela, I take it. Do you get up and dance with Harcourt?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So you guys are all partying and dancing.
Yeah.
Thak is playing like Limp Bizkit rhythm guitar to accompany all this.
Nice,
It's
nice.
brutal.
When you start playing
Rhythm
Master Edamame, what's that?
I didn't hear what sort of rhythm guitar you were playing.
Like Limp Bizkit. Like
Limp
90s,
Bizkit.
90s new metal electric guitar.
Again, the magic of post. This is going to be the soundscape on this one.
And Harcourt's just like flipping in place and twirling and stuff. Doing those like in-place flips and crazy garbage.
So as you guys are singing and dancing, and Master Edamame is singing verse after verse to this rockin' beat, you guys see a couple of servants, monks who are extremely junior in the chain. Mela, you recognize a couple of monks who are very new. Young people begin bringing in bowls and plates of food, and all this gets put down, and Master Edamame begins dancing around the table, kind of reaching down, eating food, and he scoops up a bowl of fish, and he puts them in your hands, Harcourt, and grabs a rack of meat and thrusts it in your face to
rack.
Josh.
I'll
It's an entire leg of some animal.
I'll eat the meat, and I'm gonna ask if there's any gravy available.
Oh, a man of discerning taste.
How you make your
I
own
have a matcha daikon gravy here. And he produces a green, chunky gravy and begins slathering it over your food, and then pours a little bit in his own mouth and smacks his lips.
Wasabi gravy.
I set the meat aside and go straight for the gravy.
Okay, yeah, he hands you the gravy, and he kind of waves to the two monks as they're walking out and says, "Bring us all the gravy." So pretty soon, there's a 3-gallon bucket.
Tashash's frill is kind of going.
So pretty soon, you've got a 3-gallon bucket of gravy that you're hugging, and Master Edamame.
30 gallon?
What's that?
You say 30 gallon?
I said 3-gallon.
No.
They don't keep that
Still
much
pretty
gravy
big.
on hand. They do keep a little bit. But yes, it is very spicy. You taste something like wasabi in there too, although as a lizard folk, I'm not going to make you roll the constitution checks that you would have to roll otherwise. So anyway, you guys are feasted and sang to and sang with, and your spirits are raised. And at the end of it, Master Edamame collapses back and says, "Now, down to business. How are you boys going to save this city from a fate that bears down upon us with great evil intent?"
What is it that this city needs saving from?
Yes. What is it?
This is not clear.
Nobody ever tells us anything.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm game.
He
Point
says,
us at it and we'll kick it in the nose.
well, there are many reasons for people not to tell you things. You are outsiders. And I doubt very many people know much more than me who are in a position to do something good about it. Miller, tell them of your vision.
My vision that I totally remember. It's something to do with things, uncertain things, and uncanniness. And I haven't had it in a while, so maybe you could
All right.
read
So
from the scroll that you wrote last time we talked about it.
yeah, so Mela tells you guys about a vision of a deep, guttural, evil voice coming from down below, and it has a malicious laugh, and it seems to be coming up from the depths. He tells you about this vision that he's had multiple times and how Master Edamame sent him out to try to stir up some kinds of answers. And Master Edamame looks at you, Thak, and says, "You, Bard, seem to be at the center of a great deal of this. Your slammin', rockin' concert, as you said, hurt many people. There was a great disturbance in the affected." And he turns to Atlas, who has been sitting quietly in the corner, eating her food, drinking, and he says, "I know that you have been studying the affected. You were in the common area when Tashash came to town, were you not?" And she says, "Yes, I was." He says, "What have you learned of them?" And Atlas says, "Not much, other than they have more rhyme and reason to their behaviors than it would seem at first glance." And he kind of gives that a thoughtful head nod and says, "Something about your magic, your powerful music, Thak, Thunderer, resonated with the affected of the city. They have a disease that seems to be tied to the health and the fate of the city. And when you played, either you caused or you coincided with a great disturbance. A disturbance that seems to have been followed up by some intentional agitation.
Tell me.
Oh, we lost Dwight. And we've got him back. And he's really back.
Ah, no.
Hi, Dwight.
It's too late.
Oh, I'm
He's on the
excited.
internet.
We'll have to edit that out.
What is the
Coronavirus.
nature-
Haha, now you have to edit it out.
What is the nature of this disease, wise master?
It is hard to call it a disease, even. All of the affected that you have seen on the commons or walking through the city street, these are all members of this community. People who were buried here in this very city, in the community cemetery. But within 1 or 2 moons of their burial, they were raised back to life by the tree. Raised back to some sort of unlife. They are not dead. They are not alive. They are not clean. But they are not all dirty. There is something true in them. But they are alive compared to their former selves. I and many who are wiser and have more deep knowledge of these things than me have been studying them, and we are deeply troubled and puzzled by the true source of this phenomenon. What we do know is that they seem to grow better and worse with the cycles of magic. And when he says that, you guys, anybody who wants to can roll me an Arcana check.
Yes, indeed.
Is that a real thing, Matt?
Yeah.
Please.
Will
That
Matt
gets an
allow
8.
this as a real check? What? 8?
That gets an 8.
Okay. Tashash? Harcourt, 4. Tashash?
Straight up.
I'm not gonna roll.
You're not going to roll. You guys all kind of look at him like, and completely clueless.
And he looks back at you blankly.
And he says, Thak, when you played in front of the Whistling Pig, the commotion that you saw coincided with much of the behavior that we expect to see. Over a week from now, they devolved. They fell into the worst part of the cycle of their condition. Like that. Under the influence of your music, or, as I said, concurrent with it. I do not know.
It is certainly the influence of Gruumsh. For it is he who inhabits all my playing. To Gruumsh, this shadow of life is most detestable. One life, one clean death for a warrior. That is the way of Gruumsh.
I can see how the magic of Grumch would not mix well with a magic of second life, where a warrior's death is final. Among your
Except
people,
that he
freedom.
lives on in the songs that we sing of him.
I know among your people, freedom means nothing if slavery does not mean everything that freedom does. And life and death similarly so. He gets kind of sad and pensive, and he just stops talking. For, does one of you guys cut him off or say something after a minute or 2 minutes? Because he's just staring at the table in complete and utter silence.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna
Harcourt
just
doesn't
stare
have
at
that
the
kind of
table
patience.
and try and figure out what he's looking at.
Hang on one sec. Okay, so Harcourt, you want to say something to Shosh? You want to say something? Harcourt, go for it. I heard you first.
Yeah, Harcourt doesn't have patience to watch somebody stare at a table.
Okay.
he goes. Harcourt just says, "Well, great. That all sounds pretty interesting. Let's go see what there is to see. You know, we got places to go and people to be. Let's do it."
There are many places to go and many people to see.
I
Do
didn't say
you
people
have
to
a
see.
plan? And he looks at you, Mela.
Hi. We should go back to where we picked up the lizard folk and head off into that swamp.
Ah, yes. There are things in the swamp that are not right. That seems... Yes, perhaps there is something there.
The swamp is a very, very dangerous place. Are you prepared to wade into a land of monsters, demons, dragons, and abominations?
And gold.
I'm sure there's a great deal of valuable things that have made their way into the holds of Warrit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Probably a lot fewer pockets in the swamp, though.
We do what
There
we
are
do.
pockets that you have not even begun to imagine, my pupil. He when you say pockets, he begins to laugh, and then he throws his head back.
Don't hurt
He begins
yourself.
laughing.
Hey, what time of day is it?
Laughs too.
Sorry.
Tashash does. Yeah. What's that?
What time of day
What
is
time
it?
is it? It is at this point. It is sometime after dinner, and the sun is setting in
Okay.
the east, or
Well-
whatever direction the sun sets on this planet.
I say we get up a little before dawn and head on over and try to get to the swamps right as the day breaks, so we have a lot of light while we're there.
Fair enough. Come with me. And he leads you guys down to. Go ahead.
Fact doesn't follow.
Okay. You just stay seated in his room.
I mean, if they're gonna go, yeah, no.
To bed. I put this around air quotes specifically for you, Mud.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, they're gonna. I'm sorry. The plan is they're gonna go to bed, and then get up in the morning and go to the swamp.
That's the plan so far.
Okay, I say, wise master. For my part, I will not go. I have a meeting scheduled with the council. They know many things, and I will confront them. Also-
Confront them.
I wish to speak to you regarding this matter of a paper held by your disciple, upon which has some sort of authoritative seal and also my name. I wish to be rid of this object. Its legality is not. Thak is looking for a polite word. Pleasing to me.
He Edamame holds out his hand for the paper and looks at you,
may
Mela.
have it.
He takes it out and he looks at it and he says, "Ah, Finn has done something useful." And he folds the paper back up, hands it to Mela, and turns and looks at you, Thak, and says, "No, I don't think I will. For once, Finn has done something right, and I think your path belongs with my pupils for the time being. But should you wish to confront the council, I will make an exchange. You would be foolish to go before them without allies, without strength. You are a man of great character, and I see a fire in your belly that burns out your eyes. But the council will as soon slit your throat and leave your body in an alley if it suits them. So, I would not send you as a lone wolf before a pack of lions. Please, finish the task at hand with my pupil, and I will go with you myself to ensure that you are given just answers and representation.
Mr. Edamame, you speak of slit throats in alleyways. You will find if you send me with this disciple of yours, he may come to a similar end, should that paper exist.
That is a chance I am willing to take for now. I believe he
Me
will
too.
need your thunder at his
Also
side.
willing to take that chance.
And Bella says, I'm also willing to take that chance. And the two of them kind of look at each other and begin laughing. And Edamame comes over to you. Thak puts his arm around you and says, I sense a battle within you. One that I hope you rise above. A wildness that I hope you learn to make work for you. In the meantime, have some more sake and get some sleep. And he kind of pats you on the cheek. You will need it.
Thak literally needed to roll an 11 in order to like keep it together during this patronizing behavior.
Yes,
and he
yes.
rolled an 11. So
Okay.
Thak is barely keeping a lid on it during this.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, Edamame is... roll me an insight check.
20, not natural, but
Yeah,
18 plus 2.
you can see Edamame masterfully reading you and pushing your buttons and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you right up to the edge and then backing off. You know that he is just... You can see the delight behind his eyes at how he's just tweaking you and getting you ramped up. But he hasn't pushed you over the edge, and you can see that he knows where your limits are and has pushed you to those limits.
I take more sake and pound some.
Okay.
Who poured it?
I just grab it out of whatever vessel it's in.
All right. Does anybody else have anything that they want to say to Master Edamame before they finish up for the night? No? Everybody good? Okay.
Yep.
Master Edamame, go ahead. Tashash?
Well,
Oh.
I want to go talk to Aseda once we're done here.
Yeah, absolutely. So
And Harcourt wants to say one thing to Edamame real quickly.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Just kind of, not urgently, a little bit off to the side, but to say, hey.
Yeah. Edamame, you and Edamame and Harcourt are walking together apart from everybody else for one reason or another.
Sure. And I just say, Edamame, Senor Edamame, is there any chance that you might have, there's a couple of, materials for, I need to take care of some ritual stuff in my room to get ready for tomorrow. I have a little bit of gold, but I don't have all the right materials I need. Do you have, by any chance, a pearl I could buy or something like that? I have a small list.
Please, let me see.
Okay.
So what is the list of things that you need? A pearl?
Yeah, I just need, let's see. Give me one sec. Quite a bit of charcoal, some herbs, and a brass brazier. But that I don't need to buy the brazier, just to use. As well as I could use a pearl, an owl feather, a bell, and some silver wire. Just some random stuff. Basically, a couple of spellcasting materials.
He looks over it and says, leave this with me, and I will have them for you in the morning. But wait. And he kind of closes his eyes and sniffs the air, and you see him kind of, make some sort of owl sound, and an owl flies out of the darkness and lands on his hand, and he plucks a feather out and hands you an owl feather. And then he kind of strokes the owl, sends it off on his way, and says, As for the rest, they will be at your doorstep in the morning.
I appreciate it. Thank you. This is probably about 30-ish gold worth of stuff. I can give that to you now, or
Do not worry.
well,
Will.
very nice.
You are in service of the city,
I
and
appreciate
I
it.
am a servant of the city.
Great.
I will
And
be happy to
30
take
is such a lie.
great. And you have that list, right?
Yeah. You handed in the list, and
Yeah.
he's going to.
And he just peeks
have
up
it
and looks at it and is like, "Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I need two. No, two of these. Yeah, and three. Great. Okay, we're all set.
Yeah, 2. And he pulls out a piece of charcoal out of a little fold in his robe, crosses out the 1, and writes a 2. Okay. And folds it up, and you see him as he's walking around the corner. He flags a servant, hands it to the servant, mutters something to him.
Great.
So you guys, unless you want to get up to shenanigans and hijinks in the middle of the night, Tashash, you go over to the camp where Aseda and the lizard folk are camped out. It's about maybe an eighth of a mile away from the monastery, up the stream at the edge of some forest. And as you walk through the trees, you smell good, rich, earthy smell. You smell game, large hoofed animals, small woodland creatures, birds. You don't smell any large predators. You just smell just wild animals. And it smells incredibly clean and incredibly fresh because you're way up high and you've got this crosswind coming from out on the open plains that keeps everything fairly moving. So it smells clean, fresh, and safe to you. Make me a perception check.
Okay. Let's see. So my perception is +30. Okay. Wow. An 8.
An 8. Yeah. You smell wildflowers and dung and all sorts of good things. Everything that lets you know that this place smells like life and abundance and prosperity. You have a sense that the land will support your people effortlessly.
Super.
So you make it over to the camp and find Aseda. Aseda hops up and walks over to you at the edge of camp and bows deeply to you and says, "Thank you. You have given us connection and brought us to a safe place. We will share. Our fires are yours from this day forward."
Yes, this is good for now. Yes, but we must bring you home in time. Home is with the clan. Home is with our kin.
Yeah.
Home is where our blood is. But now I must ask: is there anything you need? Is all well here? Before I leave, for I must leave tomorrow to investigate these matters going on in the city.
Aseda looks at you and kind of cocks his head and says, "Need? Oh, no, friend. Sorry, I was doing edamame. Need? No, friend. We are well taken care of here. Thank you. Be relieved of your burden. Rest well and gather your strength for the hunt tomorrow."
Yes. Well, this is good for now, but the burden is not lifted. I need your help with this. The matter is urgent. I need you to send word. I need you to send word to Atai, the warden, and send him a report from me of all that has happened here.
And I just basically give him a details of,
Okay.
I want to send a report back to Atai.
Okay,
And
he calls
request-
over one of the other lizard folk who stands shoulder to shoulder with him, and the two of them hear your report so that they can confirm it with each other later. Keep going.
And then, and also like requesting, saying we need we need a couple more. We need a couple more, rangers or soldiers up here to serve as escort for these when they need to leave. I can't do that by myself, et cetera, et cetera.
You know that from here, there's actually a decently safe passage to get to another major lizard folk population. Most of the more dangerous stuff that they were traveling through was on the other side of Fujidome, out on those side of the plains. If from here to the south, or we can sort out the details of that when we've got a world map in front of us. But you know that it would be a very reasonable trip if they just had a couple more rangers. So Aseda absolutely smiles and nods and thanks you that you having connections to Atai and rangers who are nearby, that you're basically on his behalf requesting these resources. So he thanks you.
And one more matter then. What of the Black Marrow orcs? What has been done concerning them? Anything?
Nothing has been done. We were ambushed not a moon ago.
Indeed.
We have not even had an opportunity to send word to the other holds.
Yes, well, then add this with my name upon it. Yes. The Black Marrow orcs will be marked 10 for 1. Their blood for our blood. 10 for 1.
It will
be so. Send it through the Rangers.
It will take a minor council of the chiefs and wardens to amass a sufficient force to meet them. But I am sure we will have our vengeance.
But in the meantime, the Rangers will do their work whenever we encounter the Black Marrow orcs. We will take the debt that they owe us. It will be paid. Send the word. They are marked 10 for 1.
He takes all those notes, and the other lizard folk who is next to him kind of closes his eyes and shakes his head and turns and looks at Aseda and shakes his head as if to say, I've got all that. And he bows to you deeply and thanks you for everything and bids you good night. All right. So with the lizard folk accounted for, safe, and messages being sent home to wrap up affairs. Nice. And the howls the howls of the large ungulates of the forest. You guys managed to get a solid night's sleep.
Long rest? This is a long rest?
It's a long rest. You wake up refreshed with your hit points and your spell slots full. And
can I make a second javelin?
Can you make a second javelin?
It's got a crafting skill.
Yes, you can. There are a number of actually, there's an entire training facility with a lot of simple rattan and ash and sycamore slats and lengths of wood, and you are given free reign to take any of the pre-existing blanks and fashion them down as you see fit. So I
have a bunch of hot garbage to get rid of out of my pack.
Yeah, dump your hot garbage. This is the time to take care of all your little odds and ends. If anybody
torches, 10 of them.
You guys have.
I'm gonna leave them here.
Packs.
I just drop them on the ground.
What are they?
I got dark vision, bro. I don't need no torches.
Torches.
What's that, Harcourt?
I just didn't hear what Dwight had said.
Sorry.
You just said torches?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, do halflings... Sorry, I don't know if halflings have any kind of dark vision or anything.
I don't think so. Look under features and traits, racial traits.
Ah, there we go. Let's see.
I also got a hammer. You might need a hammer.
I'll take some of
Josh-
those torches, and
Take
also
as many as you want up to 10.
okay, and also just to say for people here that I Harcourt cast Find Familiar before going to sleep.
Okay.
Josh,
You know it.
Yeah.
DM question.
Yeah. What's up?
This is the second time we've heard about the Black Marrow orcs, but has Thak heard them
Oh, yeah.
mentioned?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thak knows about the Black Marrow orcs.
Well, I mean, but has Thak heard about this about this combat that's happened in the area with the Black Marrow orcs?
No.
Okay.
This was this was an ambush that happened within well, you know what? Make me a shoot. My apologies. Give me
History?
1 sec. You can make a check to look into that. And I apologize. I had a I had something open for this.
A history check?
Yeah, sure. Let's do a history check. Yeah, that works.
That's going to be a 10.
Okay. Yeah. No. No.
But has he heard Tashash mention them? I think maybe not.
Yeah. The last time there was conversation about that, you were kind of nursing a busted lip, and I think you made a perception check and you missed it.
Just so that
I think
just so
all
that I
those
can
conversations have been
Yeah.
just between Tashash and Aseda.
Yeah.
know. Just
You would
so
have had to
that
have been eavesdropping.
just so that I will know, is there any sort of alliance or what's the relationship, if any, between the Black Marrow orcs and Thak's mother's clan?
The Black Marrow orcs are honorless curs. They are not like most reputable clans won't even take collars from them. They won't
We're a
even
reputable
do
clan.
business. Oh gosh, yeah. You guys are among the most lawful, reputable, honorable clans out there. Now, in the eyes of an entire kind of like third of the orcs, you guys are low on the totem pole because you're not combat oriented. You're not always out there slapping necks, cashing checks, trying to beat everybody else up. But amongst all of the kind of the core of the orcs that hold to the kind of main orthodox values, you guys are seen as a perfectly honorable clan.
Thanks.
Yep.
What's your familiar, Harcourt?
A lizard.
Or we're gonna. I
Nice.
guess we're gonna see it in the
A
morning.
lizard folk.
You may or may not see it in the morning.
Oh.
You know, just saying, like,
Be riding a
Right.
lizard in the morning.
it is not obvious to any of you, your characters, that Harcourt knows any kind of spell casting.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to save the description of your familiar for such a time as he appears in story?
It's a lizard.
Okay.
Just a
Cool.
really inconspicuous lizard.
Okay. Excellent. That will be even more wildly inconspicuous as soon as you guys head down the mesa tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah. So tomorrow morning, Edamame meets you guys and rouses you at the crack of dawn with a knocking at the door frame of your rooms with his staff. And as you guys all appear and begin shouldering your sacks, he gives all of you a smile and says,
Are you ready for your descent?
I am.
I was already awake.
He tosses you a shiny, juicy apple. Or pear.
Great.
A pair of apples?
No, a pear.
So we all have to eat one apple?
Nope, he just tosses it to Harcourt.
Because I'm ready.
Oh. I was already awake. I wasn't in my room. I was behind Master Edamame when he knocked.
Great.
He looks at you, Harcourt, and he makes a, oh, look at me. I was awake and ready. Oh, I was awake. Oh, my.
I don't get a pear!
Harcourt was also already awake, but not making a big deal out of it.
He tosses you a plum.
A plum.
Mm-hmm.
A pear of plum?
Mela. But upon closer inspection, it appears to be dehydrated, so it's a prune.
I love prunes.
Great. Speaking of us getting going,
He begins walking down the path away from you. And he is now walking roughly northwest. And as you guys are walking through this path through the forest, you cut around to the left and you walk over a bridge. And underneath the bridge, there flows this perfectly crystal clear water that babbles and floods and spills over stones. And he is leading you under the canopy of the great tree itself. And as you look up, it towers up into the sky, and its canopy just extends out, like a quarter mile in either direction. It is just this utterly mind-bogglingly vast canopy of a tree. As you kind of walk for a good half hour, you begin to come around to the other side, and you see out yawning and stretching out before you as you keep walking for another hour. You see up ahead in the distance the lip of the mesa is coming into view, and you see stretching out and away below you this vast wetland. You see 4 streams. And if you guys would like, anybody who wants to can go to the document that I have uploaded onto the Starfall Collective drive. And there is a map. You guys are standing at the edge of the mesa, basically right above the west wall, where the west wall intersects with the mesa. So you guys are at the bottom of G27. And we are going to hit pause there for just a few minutes. And I'm going to give you guys a chance to kind of look over that map and familiarize yourself. Everybody, we will try to upload this. I'll put an image of it on the Reddit, and we'll put it anywhere else. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Thanks for joining us, guys. Looking forward to playing some D&D and getting into a nice, big, stinky marsh real soon. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of episode 6. However you want to. I don't know, 6. Some number of fingers. Matt's like, oh Lord.
That's what it looks like when you fail a sleight of hand check.
That's exactly what it looks like. Welcome back to part 2 of episode 6 of the Starfall Collective. Our boys are about to venture forth into the wetlands, the swamp, however you want to refer to it. And as you all stand on the edge of the mesa and look out, you see the morning mist is gathered thick in the river basins of the wetlands. You see from where you are, you see to the left of the west wall, extending out to the north, and to the right of the west wall, extending out to the north, river basins. Looking down, you see that there is this jagged edge of a thick green wall below you. And it looks like you guys are going to have to choose whether you want to go down to the left of the wall or to the right of the wall.
Continuing on top of the wall is not an option?
Well, that wall is about 550 feet down from you, and you see that you've got a number of ropes and harnesses available to you. Overnight, someone seems to have fashioned a harness that looks to be about Harcourt sized, one that has been modified down to accommodate someone of his frame. And there are other harnesses that appear to be of a standard humanoid size for Tashash, Mela, and Thak as well. And these harnesses have basically rappelling gear on them, and it looks like you guys all have ropes available to you so that you'll be able to rappel. What's that?
Ropes.
Yes, 600-foot long ropes that dangle down the side of the mesa so that you guys can rappel down this northern side.
Great. And what's the question?
So really all the ropes are kind of hanging out here immediately above the wall. So it looks like you guys are going to come down on the edge of the wall, and from there you guys can make some decisions. But right now, everybody gets to make some very, very important skill checks that are going to utilize acrobatics if you've got it. Otherwise, these would be simple dexterity checks. But fear not, this equipment that you've got is going to help you along the way and make this a much less perilous task. But everybody start fitting on your harnesses and
Using acrobatics?
Well, no, this is going to be a either sleight of hand or straight dexterity to wrap yourselves and harness yourselves in.
20 natural.
Nice.
So 28 if I use dexterity. I mean,
right.
Yeah. Wait, no.
That's going to be a 9 on the sleight of hand check.
I got a 12.
Thak, I'm going to say that because you are proficient with leather working, and these are leather harnesses and whatnot, you're going to make this check with advantage because you are professionally accustomed to working with leather strapping and rigging and stuff like that.
Mela takes a swan dive off the edge of the mesa.
And you guys see
puts on his harness as he goes down.
You guys see Mela's body begin to dwindle to a very, very small size as he disappears down the side of the cliff.
Roll 600 d6s.
He is strapped in, though.
Harcourt rolled a 21.
Nice.
Or I guess I rolled a 21 for Harcourt.
15.
All right. 15, you're good. Tashash?
I got a 12.
Okay, you're good. Everybody is strapped in. Mela has already disappeared down the side of the cliff and has kind of disappeared into some of the clouds that seem to be rising up gently against the face of the mesa.
His rope is, as he goes down, his rope is there?
Yeah. There's already a rope hanging off the side. He's already clipped himself into it, and
we're more or less able to slide down. Harcourt also runs to the edge and does a flip off, and woo!
Make me an acrobatics check.
Yes, indeed.
Tashash, you see
20.
Thack
Nice.
draw his table knife
Mm-hmm.
and look at Mella's rope. And he has a look in his eye that's really not good. And he thinks about it for a second, and then he puts his knife away and goes down the cliff.
I feel like I'm gonna I guess maybe insight. I feel like Tashash might not even know what he's.
Then roll me an insight check to see if
Might
he even
just
notices
totally-
Thak's intent.
I mean, he might notice, but he might not know what it means.
Thack needed to roll below a 10 to decide to cut the rope, and he rolled a 14, if that tells you anything about what his intentions are.
I got a 14 on the insight.
Okay. Yeah, Thak, Tashash, you become keenly aware that you have a party member who is not exactly a team player, who is morally conflicted and came yay close to cutting that rope, but hasn't done it. Do you go down before Thak, or do you wait for Thak to go down first, or what do you say? By the way, Atlas is here with you, standing next to you, seeing you off.
What about Master Edamame? Didn't he come down with us at least part of the way?
Yep, he is standing off to the side, and his back is to you, and he's kind of looking over the edge, just kind of shaking his head at Mela and Harcourt's antics. They're kind of not only cavalier, but flamboyant showmanship in the face of a 600-foot drop.
Harcourt doesn't get a lot of opportunities to jump off a 600-foot ledge.
Yeah, what does it look like rolling a 20 on an acrobatics check when you're jumping off? I mean, do you do a little twirl or?
It wasn't a natural 20.
That's fair. It's still a 20.
Yeah, basically, he just, for Harcourt's sake, the point of the flip is to push off and get into a downward facing position as he's going. So he's head down as he falls.
Nice.
Grabbing on, he has the rope slid through its little carabiner type of thing or whatever, iron hook. And he's just and he's got his hand on the brake, and he wants to fall as fast as he can.
And you've got about a 1-inch thick pad on the glove on your left hand, on your brake hand. So
Great.
However fast you get going, friction won't be a problem.
Yeah, and he'll open his trench if he needs to get some drag or something. Just flap it out. He's upside down, so he's opening it, head first.
Nice. So Atlas is standing. Atlas is standing at Tashash's shoulder and is kind of looking at him. Tashash, you've looked over and noticed Thak slowly and begrudgingly putting away his knife. What do you do?
Well, I think when he so he would go over to,
Thak.
Yeah, and I guess just very directly, and he says,
"You do not want to do that.
It is the poor way for a warrior."
He looks. Wait, what did Thak say?
It's a poor way for a warrior.
Do you want to make me a what kind of check? I guess make another insight check to see if you can discern what he means by this.
Thak is okay.
Oh, yikes. I got a 5.
Thak, you see Tashash is puzzled by your words.
The subtleties of Thak's bardic utterance are lost on Tashash.
All right. Does one of you leap off the cliff? Do you guys stand there locked eye to eye? Oh, I think Matt is frozen. I don't have. Oh, Matt's back. Okay.
Moving a little bit.
I'm back.
Okay. Edamame kind of stands up and turns and looks and sees the two of you staring at each other.
What is not good?
Tashash asks.
What is not good?
Like, what is the
It's
concept?
not the way of grooms to kill one's enemy in this underhanded way, nor for the way of a warrior to die in such a way.
Edamame is.
Yes.
Zach goes
I'm
over the
about to
edge.
kick both of y'all off the edge of the cliff.
Tashash nods, and then he says,
Yes. It is also not good for a warrior to cut off his own hand. Do not do this. You do not want to do this. Let us go.
And then Fact
and
just kind of sullenly throws himself off, or does Tashash go first?
I'm going to wait for Thack to go.
Zach goes.
Yeah. All right.
Tashash
Fact,
goes.
make me an acrobatics check.
15.
15. How do you go down? Do you do the traditional lean back on your rope and then step down, or do you just kind of jump off?
I know how to do this, and I do it in the approved, safe way.
All right, so you back up, lean against your
Anarchist.
harness, make eye contact with him, and just kind of step back and jump off and begin jumping out, letting out the slack a bit at a time, going down at first 5 feet, then 20 feet at a time, making nice, big, even jumps. The rope actually manages to, the weight of the rope keeps kind of gently doesn't slam you down in, but it kind of keeps you glued to the surface. So you're kind of jumping out as though you have the gravity of the moon pushing away from the wall.
Zach has spent a lot of time outdoors. He's used to this kind of thing.
All right. Tashash, Atlas looks at you and you see if lizard folk had tear ducts, she would be crying, and you see her frill is kind of sticking out, and she says,
Alligator tears.
Come back safely. Be careful, kinsman. I wish to see you in the same,
and she kind of rakes her claws down the side of your face,
shape.
and she turns and walks very briskly away from you, obviously agitated.
I'll go over the side.
Okay.
Which entered first?
All right. Make me an acrobatics check.
Okay. +2. All right, here we go. 12.
All right. You managed to very adequately, a couple of, it's awkward for you. Your tail doesn't quite fit in the harness as well as everybody else. So there's a little bit of kind of uncomfortable pressure coming up on your tail, but you manage to step down and begin belaying yourself down. As you guys make these jumps and Harcourt, you arrive at the bottom and you see Mela standing there already in the process of unbuckling his harness. And you two are standing on top of a 40-foot wide stone wall that is about 60 feet high. And there you've still got, there looks to be a rope ladder sitting on top of the wall with some hooks. And you guys can either travel out along the wall, or you can go ahead and descend down the wall here using the ladder.
Do we know
Mela,
where we're going?
You two don't exactly. That is kind of the whole point of bringing a ranger along with you. The ranger was the one who had that primeval sense of the direction of things like fae, aberrations, and undead in the
Harcourt's
swamp.
just along for the ride. He just waits with
the
Mela.
ranger.
Okay, what's that?
Just waiting for the ranger.
That's
hey,
right.
Ranger,
Yeah, I
come
can.
on down. You're the next contestant on Which Way Do We Go?
Although,
All right. After a couple of minutes, Thak and Tashash appear. They descend through the mist and appear on top of the wall with you. So you guys
Harcourt
are all
amuses
together.
himself while we're waiting, just to say, by grabbing his rope and running as far to the left as he can up the wall and swinging back and just kind of getting a view of the landscape and having fun.
You can. Do you travel? Do you run out to the east or to the west?
I would say first to the east, and then, of course, swinging back and running the other way.
Okay. You have the ability to run. Make me an athletics check to see how far you can push out.
Okay. Let's see. There it is. 2.
Okay. You start to run, and like just the weight of the rope leaves you with your little feet just kind of scurrying midair. Your toes are touching the wall, and you just can't quite make purchase. You want to try that again?
Sure. Give it a whirl.
Sure.
Just
Okay.
for fun.
All right.
Ooh, it was 13, and then it flipped over and landed on a 4.
Can I give
Okay.
him a shove? Just
Yeah.
let's see what he's doing.
Yeah. Make
Mela
me
can hurl me over, throw me.
Make me an athletics check to try to sling Harcourt out to the east.
Slinging you to the east here, boss. Athletics, I rolled a 10 plus 2, so just 12.
All right. You send him flying out, and you see a flock of what appear to be something bigger than a songbird, smaller than an albatross, some kind of
Hawk type
like
deal.
raven, hawk-sized birds. A whole flock of them come erupting out of the face of the cliff. He seems to have run past a small rookery of bird nests. Make me a dexterity saving throw, Harcourt.
Sorry, I have to look at the saving throws. There we go. Okay. 22.
Okay, these birds with these gleaming silver beaks come rushing past you, and one of them comes flying past your face, and you see a glint of metallic steel-colored beak, and you feel the whoosh of their feathers, and you smell a kind of pungent, acrid smell as this flock of birds comes flying past you, but you kind of
Can I grab
pull
one?
your body to the side. Yeah, sure. Make me a sleight of hand
Animal
check.
handling. Handle the animal.
This is so quick and sudden. I'm going to say that if you want to just grab one, it's going to be a sleight of hand check.
11.
Yeah, you reach out to grab one. What's your armor class?
16.
One of these beaks stabs into your hand for 3 points of damage, and a nasty, clean gash has opened up your hand, and you are now dripping blood from your hand.
Am I down the cliff? Do I see this?
As you are coming down, you see, you hear the flap and rush of wings below you, and you look out to your right. Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
Left.
to your right.
Left,
And
my
you
left.
see
I'm facing
down
the
below
cliff.
you and to your left, you see Harcourt in the middle of this flock of birds that appear to be kind of a ashy gray with these metallic silver beaks. And you
he's sort
see
of-
him get stabbed.
He's sort of at the end of an arc, and he's about to make his way back.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm happy to just come back, but I would try to Harcourt would try to grab another one. But
Okay.
I don't know if I have enough time.
Yeah, there are a couple of stragglers going past you, and you've got one more chance to snatch one.
Okay. Same thing.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
Man, I rolled the 11 again.
Yeah.
That's my lowest possible roll.
This one, you see silver talons go snap. You see the bird kind of flips to its side, and these talons kind of grasp at the air really close to your hand, but you snatch your hand back, and the last of the birds goes flying off into the swamp.
Okay.
And sure enough, your momentum is bringing you back over to the wall.
And I just jump off and say, man, that was great. Except for my hand got a little something on it. But I saw the weirdest birds I have ever seen. They were some kind of crazy metal, I don't know, man. Ravens, but metal.
Everybody make me a nature check. Mela, make it with advantage.
Ooh, with advantage.
Back fails.
Are they
No.
I got a 9.
nature? Are these are beasts?
Yes.
I have favored enemy of beasts, so I think I would get advantage as well.
Okay.
14.
That is an 18.
With a 14 and an 18, you guys both know these are argent rooks, and these are a Feywild bird. Their beaks
say-
are... What's that?
No, I can't. Sylvan. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna
know
fuck
that
the birds.
with a 14, you know that they're argent rooks. With an 18, you know that these rooks gain the silver in their beaks from a type of mollusk that they eat that gathers metals from the earth. And they put these metals into their shells, and these birds eat the shells whole, and the birds absorb these metals, and actually the metal grows with the bone. So they have these kind of silver bone composite beaks and talons.
Would they be? I mean, would I know whether that's like normal or abnormal for this area?
It tells you that this is a Feywild. It tells you that there are full-on Fey creatures in this area. If there are argent rooks, then that means that there are going to be a number of other very weird, very arcane beasts. So there won't just be plain beasts, but Feywild beasts.
Okay. Mello would know that. I'm turn to Mello and say,
Have you ever seen such things in these parts before?
Yeah, they live around the mesa.
Now, Mela, you know that they like to stay low and close to the bottom. These are not like huge, high circling buzzards. They like to hunt and stay close to the water. Okay, so you guys are on top of the west wall. Are you going to go out along the wall or descend here at the base of the wall?
Ranger, you're in charge.
well, okay. I think I would probably well, so we are in my
Favored terrain, absolutely.
favorite terrain. So we shouldn't have trouble. We shouldn't be slowed down by the terrain. We shouldn't be able to get lost. And I should be able to. I can remain alert to danger. Blah 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 blah. While tracking creatures, I can learn exact number sizes, etc. How long ago they passed through the area. I think that's what I would. So my favorite enemy of beast is. We're not really looking for that though. I think, because we're more looking for like the abominations and.
So Harcourt says, I say we go along the top of the wall. We can make good ground.
Yeah.
Cover.
Well, so I think Tashash would probably lead us back in the direction of the old lizard camp, and start there, but
Okay.
unless
So
someone else presents a better idea.
Where on
Which
the map
I
is
don't know.
the old lizard camp?
That would be about 20 miles to the west.
Off the map.
Let's not do that.
Yes, off the map to the west. That would
Okay.
be just off the southwest edge of the map.
And I say to Tashash, hey Tashash, when you got that creepy vibe before about where there's some kind of like crazy magic things, where about was that? Could you tell?
Now he could only sense 6 miles deep into.
Well,
Got it.
Go ahead.
it gives sort of a range. It doesn't give the location or number of the creatures. I
direction,
sense.
all
So he can just say he doesn't know, right, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot say for sure. It was. I would think if we go back to the place where we started, that is what I would do.
Sure, let's do it.
I have not tracked these creatures before.
Okay. Well, I say we just go to the camp. Let's do it.
Go west, young man.
Where
Okay.
Harcourt's not picking with strategy. He just wants to do stuff.
I would I be able to do so like
Can you redetect?
with my tracking, could I and look for things that were seem like out of the ordinary, like if I know what are like the things that I'm familiar with, if I could like spot things that are like not is that
Yeah, you would need to get down on the ground. So right now, you guys are at the base of the mesa, the face of the mesa, and where the wall meets it at the south. If you wanted to start doing some tracking, you would need to get down either on the east side, which is the marsh side, or the west side, which is looking out to the west. You see farmlands. You see that there's a couple of miles away to the left. There is a river that goes out from the mesa. There is a spring head. Basically, there are five main rivers that come out of the mesa itself and flow out into the wetlands. So all 5 of these rivers have their source waters somewhere up inside the mesa itself. And that the westernmost river that you're looking at out to the west, that one feeds all of the rice and grain, all the crops that are grown out to the north of the city. And then to the east of this wall that you're standing on in that direction is the swamp itself.
Oh, okay. I see. Can I just do like a quick check looking eastward from the wall?
What kind of
Scan
check?
the area.
A perception check? Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, survival maybe. Yeah, it's the same. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Actually, I take it back. I've been kind of up in the air about the scale of this. I think let's say that each one of these squares represents about 1 mile, because otherwise, if each square represents 3 miles, I think that's going to stretch everything out too much. So let's say each square represents 1 mile.
All right. I got a 21.
Okay, Thak, what were you saying?
Or
I'll tell you
go
what
ahead and
that
tell
21
him
gets you. Okay.
what the
All right.
21 gets you.
With a 21, 21 perception, I think you notice a set of footprints that follow. You see the dew has been disturbed, and you see what looks to be humanoid footprints that are traveling parallel to the wall on the eastern side of it.
And these look like out of the ordinary, like non-native species? Or
I mean, you see what looks to be humanoid bipedal walking footprints. Granted, you're still
In the
60 feet
wetlands.
up, but you can spot them from up here with a 21.
Oh, that means they're big.
Yeah. These look to be rather large footprints.
Yeah.
That you can
if we
spot from 60 feet up.
If we can
So I
see
see
them
him like scanning and looking, and they're like considering and maybe talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
I go up to Tashash and I say, "Why don't you ask one of the natives? You know?" And I get out my guitar and I start to play, and I burn a first level spell slot casting Speak with Animals on it's only on myself. Never mind. I can't do it on somebody else. I cast Speak with Animals on myself.
Okay.
And I just yell in animal.
I love you guys so much.
Hey, beasts to the field. We're here to kill the undead. If you don't like undead in your swamp, tell us where to find them. Birds, dogs.
You, be quiet.
Where can we find the undead?
Nice. Okay.
Do any animals hear me?
Tashash growls at you, at Zach. and
Okay.
yeah.
Silent fool. What are you doing?
The spell lasts for 10 minutes.
All right. Let me make my
you
first
gonna-
of many checks on the table of critters.
So Thack doesn't shut up.
Thak doesn't yell anymore after that first time, seeing that you like are upset.
You see.
Don't see what happens.
Good.
Don't say what happens.
No. I say Thak is waiting to see what happens if any animals respond to his call.
You see in the rushes down below you, there seem to be some really, really thick reeds, some kind of about 1 foot wide, 3 or 4 foot long bladed fronds that are growing really, really thick. You see these heads stick up out of them that appear, each of these heads looks like it's about the size of, maybe like a hippopotamus's head, but they look like a pig. And you see 4 or 5 of these heads stick up, and you see these enormous noses that look like the size of a dinner plate begin to.
I elbow to Shash and I say, "Hey, I'm gonna go see what they have to say. How can I get down there to them?"
You see that there's a rope ladder that is anchored to the east side of the wall, but is rolled up. You can kick it over the side of the wall and go down it.
I do so.
Okay. As you descend, you see a couple of these, 2 of the largest ones begin to kind of cautiously trot forward. And as you make it to the ground and turn around and look, you see about 60 feet away from you, there are 2 enormous boars that look like they're about the size of hippopotamuses. And they just lock eyes with you and just begin slowly walking towards you, not menacingly or anything, but definitely cautious. And they stop about 15, 20 feet away from you, sniff you one more time, and say,
How do you speak against the unwelcome? What do you want?
Hey, fellas. Nice to see you. Nice to make your acquaintance. I'm Thak. I hear you got some undead problems in the swamp. Have you heard about that?
they look at each other and they look at you and say,
Monsters in the swamp. evil creatures. Yes, there are many things that do not belong. Undead.
You see them kind of look at each other and begin kind of like grunting to each other, and they kind of smell you and they say,
Undead. We recognize the smell of them on you.
And they've walked right up to you, and these noses, like I said, the size of dinner plates, are kind of going up and down you, sniffing you.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, what do you want?
I'm gonna ask Zach. What do they say?
Did you follow me down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They say that they do know that there's undead around.
Ask them about those.
And I tell Thak to ask them about the footprint.
Hey, Bor, buddy, see those footprints over there? What made those? Was that made by the undead or something else?
And you see them kind of making they're kind of shaking their heads around and say,
No, opposite of undead. The great warrior, the white warrior with the fire sword. He hunts them. We like this river because he patrols it regularly. We have no quarrel with him. He has struck down many.
And you see them kind of begin clacking their tusks against each other, and you see them kind of stomping their feet, and you notice that the bristles along their back all begin to stand up, and you see these kind of iron gray spike-like bristles coming up all over their body. What you thought was hair appears to be actual metallic spines that stand up on their backs.
Josh, there's a huge, super awesome white color warrior with a flaming sword who's fighting the undead, and the boars are big fans of this guy. I say we should find him or her. Hey,
Yes.
Bor, where can we find this white warrior with the
seems
flaming sword? I want to talk to
reasonable,
him. He patrols
They
the
kind
river.
of, all right, make me a persuasion check to see if you can persuade these boar, these kami boar, to Inu kami. Sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be just a 10.
You know what? I'm going to say that because you've got a ranger there with you, I'm going to give you advantage on this because he is. They sense his primordial nature. They sense his connection with the land. I'm going to let you do this with advantage.
Well, he can help me. Well, he probably can help me in some way.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 13 then.
Yep, that's enough. They, at this point, because you are excited about finding this person that they are excited about finding, you see them kind of turn and they begin trotting away, and they turn and look at you and they say, follow.
Follow.
And I call up to the rest of our party who's still, I guess, up there. I say, hey guys, we got an ally down here. We're going to try and find him. We got to follow these boar.
And which
Come
way
on
are the
now.
boar? Which way are the boar running? Can we see that?
They
there?
appear to be running northeast. They are running down into these rushes, and you see them kind of disappear down into the rushes. But you see the direction that they disappeared, and they have trampled a tunnel. But eventually they do, that trampled path disappears into the grass.
Okay. Yeah, Harcourt gets up. He's been leaning on the wall, and he gets up and snuffs out his pipe, stuffs it back in his jacket, and is like, finally. And he jumps down and is ready to go.
Hey, Ranger, you're good at tracking. Track those
Yes.
boar. Let's follow them. They're probably going to take us right there.
Yes, let us do this. And let us be quiet about it, yes?
What for?
So,
Right.
how quickly do
Because
you
the
guys all
ranger
come
said
down?
so.
How quickly do you guys all do this?
Harcourt just
Do it.
tumbles down as fast as he's able.
Okay. So as you guys begin walking down this path that has been trampled in the grass, very quickly the grass goes up over the level of your head. And ahead, you see that the grass appears that these fronds appear to have been pushed to the side in a way that it looks like they've actually kind of permanently grown around in a small tunnel where the roof of the tunnel is about maybe like 5 feet. There's only kind of loose fronds up there, but Tashash, you're what, 6 foot something? Are you tall or short for a lizard folk? I forgot.
I'm actually on the short side for a lizard man, but
Yeah, but that's like 6'2" or something.
yeah, I know I've got my.
While he's looking for that, Josh, how thick are the
Oh, I'm a
fronds on either
6'2".
side?
The stalks of these things appear to be a good 3 to 4 inches wide.
I mean, how dense? How densely
extremely.
packed? So it's like a wall.
You could slip between them, but it would be really slow going for you, Harcourt.
Okay.
None of the rest of you would have an easy time. You'd be moving at like 1/4 speed.
Okay, I was
I'd
wondering
say
if it was like a
wait,
cornfield or more like a reeds.
Thicker than a cornfield.
Okay.
Now remember, I've got favorite terrain.
Yes.
We're still in my favorite terrain, so we shouldn't be slowed. Difficult terrain shouldn't slow our travel.
Yeah, you know how to, if you want, pick a path and navigate through all this stuff. But if you're going to follow these pigs, you're following them into a thickly woven tunnel of grass. So
Pigs
yes,
leave
you could.
really big
Go ahead.
paths behind them.
What's that?
Pigs they're not nice to grass when they walk.
Yeah, so they have trampled the ground, and you see that there is kind of a hard packed, muddy pathway, and you see their enormous footprints. Each of their footprints is about a foot wide, and you see that this path appears to be just absolutely run up and down both ways with them. And you guys, at this point, there's no longer any pigs in front of you. They've kind of disappeared down the tunnel. But go ahead.
As we go, I feel like I'm kind of at the front of the order, and having sort of proceeded ahead, I'm gonna look back and like say to Mela, "Hey, big guy, you want to go first? Big tough monk fella, get up there in the front." And I sort of fall back and take up the rear, and let the ranger and the monk go first into the darkness of this strange boar-made tunnel.
Harcourt is easily the slowest, by the way, of us. Because I'm
When we're walking, we'll all walk the same speed.
Cool.
Does he need a lift?
Sure. I mean, whether he needs one or not, he'll always take one.
If we're pick him up and carry him.
Yeah, great. Harcourt takes you up on it and says, "Thanks, Lizard Man."
You guys are all wearing adventuring packs, right? Now, Thack, did you bring your actual locker strapped to your back with you? Okay.
Oh yeah, I have it.
Okay. Harcourt, if you want, it's the easiest thing in the world to find places to slip your feet into some loops towards the bottom of Tashash's pack, and you can ride on his back if you want to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so Harcourt, I'm going to put you with Thack.
These swamps, they are dangerous places for bugbears, yes.
I bet they are.
Go ahead.
I shipped my guitar, and I start playing sort of a quiet little tune, but it is noisy. It's not quiet. It's
Hush!
it's a song.
As you guys travel down the path,
Tashash,
go ahead.
Tashash turns around and puts a hand up in front of Heck and says,
Be silent. Yes?
So as you guys are traveling,
I'm not going anywhere until he shuts up. Does he stop?
I look to Mela.
Nella's already yelled at you to hush.
I sullenly put my guitar back away.
Listen, Gus Chiggins, you're blowing the stealth on this mish, okay?
And Harcourt says to Thack, well, I liked it. I was about to sing along.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Philistines.
Now, Tashash, lizard folk can move just as easily on all fours as they can on two legs, right?
I'd imagine so.
Okay, in that case, you're going to get really tired of getting whipped in the face by these fronds constantly because
he's trotting low.
Okay. Mela, you have years and years and years of carrying heavy packs on your back, leaned forward at a 45-degree angle. So if you assume this very familiar posture, you can get your face underneath the level of the fronds that would otherwise clip your head. Thack, you're a fairly tall guy. This is going to be somewhat onerous for you. But as you guys are traveling along, everybody make me a perception check.
I will percept.
13.
Perspective.
20, dirty 20.
Harcourt, you feel yourself passing through something. Thack, you recognize that you guys just went through some sort of arcane barrier that feels
18.
like there's some sort of fey magic to it.
9?
You've passed through a fey barrier.
I got a 9.
Tashash, you are clueless as to you get tingles and nothing else. You have no sense of anything.
Oh wait, well I do. Okay, so the part of the natural explorer is
With advantage.
Your group can't become lost except by. Oh wait, never mind. That doesn't.
You're not lost, but you do. You are going to
I
make
remain
checks with
alert to
advantage.
danger even when I'm engaged in another activity. No.
No danger. Don't you make
Um,
your skill checks with advantage or something?
No, but in favored terrain, I have proficiency bonuses doubled for proficient skills when you make an intellect or wisdom check related to it, and I have proficiency in perception.
Okay, in that case, with your double proficiency, you pick up the same level of tingle.
With my double proficiency, I got a 9 on my
A
roll.
9. Okay, no, yeah, you're clueless. So
I
okay,
need
but
to
Thack,
work on my die roll.
you recognize that you just passed through a Feywild barrier.
Did you feel that? Something
What?
happened.
I felt something,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it was.
I don't know. What did I feel? I had 18.
You also know that you've passed through some sort of barrier.
There was a barrier, you guys.
We have gone into some other realm. I sense the Fae.
They.
So, as you guys are traveling, discussing this, up ahead, you see the tunnel open up, and you see the grass gets a bit thinner at the edge of the tunnel, and it's going to open out into what looks to be a small field that is. Hang on one sec.
You guys stay here. I'm gonna stealthily sneak up.
Somebody
dark-
make me.
how
Somebody
dark
make
is
me. How dark is it? It's fairly dark in here because the sun isn't really up, and there's only a little bit of light coming in through the top of the grasses and whatnot.
Okay.
Make
Before- before
Tish-
Mela goes ahead, I'm going to play very, very gently and softly and give him bardic inspiration.
Okay.
So for the next 10 minutes, Mela, you can add a d6 to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. That's after you make the roll, but before Josh tells you the outcome of it.
Okay. Like one time, not like every time.
One time, yeah.
Yeah.
One time during the next 10 minutes, you can pick a roll and do extra good on it.
Nice. I guess that guitar of yours isn't completely annoying.
Just watch your back.
Thanks. So I'm going to sneak up to the edge of the clearing.
You sneak up to go ahead, Tashash.
Oh, I'm gonna parkour and whisper to him,
Stay low, little bugbear. Stay safe.
As Mela and I do, and I say, "Thanks, lizard man," and also reach into my jacket and, as inconspicuously as possible, including not letting necessarily the others here know, I pull out a very small lizard and kind of let it go into the reeds, and Harcourt sits down right near the feet of Thack and. I just forgot your name.
Mela?
No, Thack.
Tashash.
Tashash. And doesn't really move much. So, and Harcourt is having the lizard run ahead and scope out some stuff. It's my familiar.
Okay. Mela, you said that you wanted to sneak out into the clearing. Do you want to make
No, to the edge of the clearing.
To the edge of the clearing at the edge of the tunnel. All right, make me a stealth check with advantage to only come to the edge of the tunnel.
19.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Percept. 20, but not the normal kind. No, wait, 23.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
And
23.
just, as you're doing this, Josh, also note that Harcourt is looking through the eyes of his lizard and has sent him also around the edge of the clearing.
Okay.
To somewhere.
Harcourt, you, through the eyes of your lizard, see a man who's about 6'6", looks like he weighs about 300 pounds, has a snow white beard, about my length, maybe a little bit longer, and he appears to be wearing large, shaggy animal skins, and you can
Santa Claus!
Metal armor underneath those skins. And you see that he has the handle to a like Final Fantasy sized sword sticking out the top of his back, and he is kind of perched on the edge of an outcrop, looking out over the grasslands, and appears to be scanning roughly in your direction.
Okay.
He's scanning in our direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I pop out and say to, I guess only Thack and Tashish are with me, and I say, "Hey, the White Warrior guy is in that clearing."
Good.
Yes.
I wish to let Mela speak with him alone. At least at first.
Great. And Harcourt
let us do this.
Harcourt just looks back through the lizard's eyes but doesn't do anything.
I think maybe my audio cut out at some point. I don't know who the white wizard guy is.
Describe it again, Josh.
You see a man who's about 6'6", weighs about 300 pounds, broad shoulders.
You weren't there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh.
No, he is there. He went into the clearing.
No, he wasn't there when the boars were talking about the guy.
But I told him.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
The boars mentioned something about a warrior with a sword of
Flaming
fire
sword.
who
Yeah, and
fights bad things in the swamp.
Like a
I told the whole
good guy
I told
or
the
a
crew
bad
about it.
guy?
He's a good guy. He's an ally.
Yeah.
He's trying to fight the undead.
The boars like him.
The boars like
Boars
him.
at least like him. Okay.
I've told you that he's our ally, and we're going to try and find him.
Okay. So I would come out of hiding and say, hello!
As you step out, you see this guy charge down towards you, and he begins monologuing at you. Let me play this, and it'll be about a minute.
And what do you lot believe to be doing here? You got no business being on this side of the thicket. Be gone. Get to the other side. I don't even know how you got through. I don't care. Get out. It's not safe. We don't need loose cannons out here. Perhaps you didn't know me. I am Muldoon, a Moorwalker. And I'm telling you, on the authority of the city, to get out. You see he unsheaths a 5-foot-long claymore-looking sword that is always shimmering with blue flame. By the bog fires of the Shirakuma. Get back on the other side of that thicket. And with that, his flame on his blade grows to the point that you can hear it kind of sucking air and pushing through it like a forge burner. And what do you lot believe?
Oh, no, I just hit play twice. Sorry. Could you guys hear that okay?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yep. So this man produces this enormous sword and says, by the
bog fires of the Shirakuma, get back.
He's been saying this, monologuing at you as he's kind of trudging down through the path towards you, and he's now planted himself about 20 feet in front of you with this enormous sword flaming, and he's holding it in kind of he's crossed in a side angle cross guard, and he's staring menacingly at you.
I say, oh, don't worry, we're here to help.
And Harcourt saw that happen through the lizard's eyes.
Yep.
And he quickly, when he sees the guy running towards him and whatever, he pops up and runs a little forward and slips into the rushes on each side, and tries to kind of go around to a different side of the clearing.
Okay.
Not within the clearing,
would-
but right skirting the edges of the clearing. In the thrush area. Anyway, go ahead.
But also, well, I want to wait.
So
Yeah,
he has
see-
made
see how he
an
responds.
attempt. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to see how he responds to Dwight.
Okay. This guy has made an attempt to intimidate you. He is much bigger than you and has a actively, powerfully flaming sword. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Who?
Mela.
Wisdom saving throw. Here it goes, baby.
His fearsome countenance.
14.
All right. You find yourself against your will and against your judgment shaken. Your body is now slightly quivering with fear as you feel the heat of this fire, and you hear deep within his chest a guttural growl come out of him that sounds impossibly deep and powerful for the size of a human.
I hold up the hockey puck of power.
Okay. You're just going to come straight at him with the Jade Throg, huh?
Jade Throg.
Give me
Can I
5
see-
seconds.
Can me and Tashash see any of this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this
Or
is all
hear any of
happening
it?
just down the tunnel. This is only like 15, 20 feet away from you.
Can I make some kind of check to see if I notice that that Mela is scared or under the fear or frightened
Oh,
effect?
yeah, I forgot. I should have
Yeah.
rolled that.
Make
Yep.
me a perception check.
And also,
Guys,
Josh,
remind me to roll
Yo,
my
will
plus
you-
six.
let's say that
Yeah, you had a D6 to add to that if you wanted.
Should have.
let's say that the white warrior guy is facing Mela, and Mela is at his 12 o'clock, just for the moment. Will you tell me when I could come into the clearing? Because I'm pushing my way through the edges of it. Will you tell me when I could come into the clearing at around the white warrior guy's 5 o'clock or 4 or 5 o'clock?
Yeah, have you made me a stealth check to try to get out there and slip into the grass?
No, but I'm happy. I did that as soon as he was getting intimidated, or as soon as I heard him monologuing.
Sure.
I jumped up and started running over, but
Sure.
I did not make a stealth check. I can do that now.
Yeah, make me a stealth check now.
Okay.
I got a 9 to perceive Mela's state.
No, you see that he is kind of locked in diplomacy with this guy, but you can't quite see what's going on with him.
I had a 14 on stealth.
Okay.
I would also like to not. So Tashash is probably gonna wait. He's not gonna do it at the same time as Harkart, but I'd also like to go into stealth and
Okay.
drop into the reeds.
Make me a stealth check.
Okay.
You can kind of shoulder your way through the reeds at the wall of
in
the tunnel.
sort of like,
Yeah.
I think what Tashash would do is, kind of make it look like he's conceding and, going away, and like the guy said, but he is actually going into hiding in the reeds.
Okay, make me a stealth check.
Wow, I do like threes. That's a 7.
Okay.
Probably sees me.
You see the guy begins to circle around you, Mela, in the direction that Tashash has now evaded him into the rushes. And you see him begin actively scanning. And this guy gives a enormous swing of his sword in an arc in the direction of Tashash. And you see a giant arc of flame come out and sever all of the fronds above you, Tashash. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
The better 18.
Okay, you duck down. Fortunately, you're extremely low to the ground, and you see this scythe-like shing of, well, it doesn't make the metallic. You hear a flame go rushing above your head, and you feel several pounds of fronds fall down on top of you.
I will. Well, as that obviously did not work, I stand straight up.
So just as he makes this slashing motion, Mela, you produce this jade frog, and you see the man visibly drop his weapon a bit, and he turns it upside down, and he spears it down into the ground and steps forward to you and leans forward and looks at it and squints his eyes and leans back and says,
Now what does the Order think they're doing, sending a runt like you to help me do my job?
Well, old Edamame couldn't spare the A team, so he sent us.
And you hear this deep basso profundo laugh, much deeper than one that I can make, and it just begins to peel off of out into the swamp. And as you kind of look around, you look over your shoulder and you realize everybody who's out in the open now, make me a perception check.
I haven't gone out into the clearing yet.
Oof. 8.
Okay.
24.
All right. Tashash, you notice that you are about 5 miles farther away from the point that you left in the tunnels than you should be. Your exact pinpoint precision navigation has left you kind of have this sickening stomach jolting moment where you realize you are way far not where you thought that you should be based on your kind of internal compass of navigation. And yes, that is with all of the rules about it being impossible for you to be lost and all that stuff.
It's magic.
Yeah, that was probably magic.
And you're not lost. You know where you are.
Yep. To Shash's.
So Mela, this
throw goes up.
Go ahead. So when he stops laughing, he says,
Edamame sent you. How is he?
He's
Still a chatterbox as ever?
terror boxes.
Chatterbox.
Chatterbox.
Oh yeah, he talks a lot.
That he does. So what's he sent you down here for?
Well, I've been having visions of like uncanny voices coming up from the deep.
Laughter.
Yeah, something like that.
I have had him too.
What?
You and I aren't the only ones either.
I've come out at this point and joined the group.
I see you brought the whole party. So this is the B team, huh?
Harcourt is still hidden.
He walks over to Thack and he kind of gives you a good sniff, and he kind of goes,
He's good stock.
I know.
What about the sneaky one over there? Come on out.
and he waves over at you, Tashash.
Tashash comes out and approaches cautiously, but
A lizard folk. You've got an eclectic group, I'll give you that.
Yep, this is the whole group.
All right, make me a deception check,
Oh,
Remember
I can't
that?
do that.
diplomacy or whatever.
I'm-
Sorry,
I'm-
let me pull up the
Deception is right.
deception. Yeah.
While he's engaged with talking to them and Harcourt saying that he's friendly, I would like to sneak up beside him, not like in a harmful way, but I want to try to light my pipe on his blue flame sword and say, "Hey, how's it going?"
He kind of like jolts as you suddenly appear next to him.
He's 6'6", and I'm like 2'7", so
I think you come up to his kneecap. He's enormous. You see his feet definitely, Tashash, you notice his feet definitely match the size of feet that made these footprints in the dew along the wall. And he looks down at you, Mela, or he looks down at you, Harcourt, and then looks around at the rest of you and says,
That's all of you. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
right.
I saw him. You didn't see him?
Well, what's your play here?
Well, we're following this ranger. He's sending us towards...
There is something amiss in this swamp.
Something. Many something's wrong in this swamp.
The animals are disturbed.
Aye, the animals are disturbed.
The dead are walking.
The dead
heard
are
there's
walking.
undead.
Come
Uncanny
again.
laughter.
what? Sorry, we're talking over each other. Mela, what did you say?
Uncanny laughter.
The laughter.
also I've heard there might be some unwelcome treasure in here. I'll get rid of it.
You get another round of that deep laughter out of him. And he turns back over to you, Mela, and he says,
Aye, the laughter. Borit would know more about that than I would, but he's gone into hiding these days. He won't even take audience with me.
Borit.
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 Aye, the Lord of the Swamp. The Toad King. The Lord of the Below. Borit. I see you've done your homework.
I like reading.
Listen, I got some shows that I want to play, and some money I want to make in the town, but everything in there is all it's all messed up, and there's lots of problems, and like I just want to deal with all this nonsense, and then get back to business. So like, how do we do that? Like, point me to the undead that we gotta kill.
Well, I'd say if you're looking for undead,
I think they call it re-dead, not kill.
right. If you're looking for undead, re-dead, whatever sort of abominations you're talking about, I'd say your best bet is due west of the Myers.
And he kind of points at this. There's a river valley that kind of slopes down to the east of you, and he points down along it up to the north, and he says,
Along this, there's a place where a marsh flows into this river. That marsh
back up to the south west. Sorry, he doesn't pause. I'm having to pause. Southeast. Yeah.
where the marsh flows into the river. Follow the river back up to the southeast. There you'll find the greatest collection of the abominations, the undead sort of things. There seems to be some sort of building up of whatever evil is in this land. There's little pockets of it here and there all over. Charging out into this swamp is taking your life in your own hands. Everything out there that has the ability to defend itself is on the highest alert. Everything in the swamp's trying to kill each other right now. So, if you're going to travel out there, I need to know you can handle yourselves.
Yeah.
Who says yeah? Harcourt does?
Harcourt has
Like-
sat down and is leaning against the guy's leg and smoking his pipe.
He just kind of looks down at Harcourt and looks up at you, Mela, and is just looking at you like somebody who tries to bring a 3-year-old into a tiger enclosure. Like, how is this a responsible choice? He seems to be
Does the
saying. with his
tiger have
eyes.
pockets?
That's right.
Muldoon,
Mildin.
Moildin.
misunderstood me. What I mean is that all this nonsense with the affected and like this weird schedule that they're on, and like the council, and this just all the stuff that's not music that's going on in this town. How do we get rid of all that? I don't want to just kill undead. Like, I want to kill the thing that makes the undead.
Well, obviously there's something that's poisoning the swamp. Obviously there's something that's making these vile things.
Yeah.
Cutting down trees. What were
Oh, and
those?
the tree. Yeah, that's some nonsense too.
You think the tree, the source of all life, and you think that the source of all life for a good ways in every direction is responsible for making this?
No.
They cut down the
Longer cut
garden.
down.
Cut down.
And he
Yeah.
looks up at the tree.
He says,
Not the big tree.
you mean the oath tree?
Oath. What? I don't know what it's called.
Whatever. I don't care. Point me at the thing that's making all this stuff so non-musical and stressed out about everything all the time.
He looks at you and looks over at Mela and says,
He's got a real charming way about him, doesn't he? Listen, I don't know what the source of all this is. I'm busy enough trying to keep order around here and trying to keep casual adventurers and every young man who thinks he's going to make a name for himself from wandering in here and getting killed.
Uh,
I'm having a hard enough time just patrolling the moors. Now, if Edamame sent you and Edamame thinks you're up to snuff, then I won't get in your way and I'll point you in the direction of whatever you want. But I don't know what the source of all this is.
Well, let's just start paring back the branches then.
So he has told you basically to follow this river and then double back up to the right, to the southeast, up to a marsh. And he says that that's where a great source of a great collection of this kind of negative undead energy is. Do you have any other questions for him? I don't want to artificially hurry the scene or anything, but if you guys are going to do anything else, I was just going to be more direct. Do you guys ask him any other questions? Is there anything else you want to know from him?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
he seems busy.
Do you say this to Mela?
Yeah, I say
He seems busy.
Let's
We
get
should
out
go
of
take
here.
care of it on our own.
Yeah.
You're
So
right,
that
I'm busy. Busy trying to do my job.
And he pulls the sword up out of the mud, gives it a whoosh, and it flames, and you see an ashy, dry, powdery cloud of dirt fall to the ground from the tip of the sword as the fire burns away everything, and he resheathes it behind him, and he looks at all of you and says,
I hope you know what you're doing. The odds of me being there to wipe your noses and snap you from the fire are low, but I'll spare my eyes in your direction any chance I get.
And he holds a hand up and snaps twice, and you see an enormous raven comes and lands on his hand, and you see him whisper into its ear, and he kind of flings it up into the air and says,
I might not be able to come and rescue you, but I'll at least be able to find your bones and drag them back to your widows.
I get out my guitar and I play him an example of the kind of sound that it makes. I say, if we're fighting, you're gonna hear this for like a mile. So, maybe come help. Or not, whatever.
all right. He nods at you.
Like it's really loud.
And Harcourt says, "Hey, do you need anything before we go? And also, if you ever find yourself in the city or anything, look me up. I bet we could do something together. We could work on something."
I spend as little time in the city as possible. Like him.
And he kind of nods over towards you to Shash.
Great. Still.
He kind of rolls his eyes a little bit and turns and begins trudging off the way that he came up the hill, up into the thicker grasses. So as this guy disappears, you see, you hear his footfalls disappear into the brush, and you guys are left standing there in the clearing with a river valley down to the east of you, just a couple hundred feet away, a few hundred feet away. And you see that the valley kind of kinks to the northwest and kinks back to the southwest, and then straightens out south below you. And after that kink to the northwest straightens out above you. So you guys are at the corner of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You're at the, okay, so you see there are those four rivers, right? Oh,
Five.
you know what? Geez, I'm saying this as though we don't have the map that everybody has in front of them. I'll make an icon on the map where you guys are. You guys are right there. Everybody who's got the map should be able to see.
I see it.
So you guys...
So we didn't come that far.
Each of
those squares represents a mile. So you guys
we were teleported.
disappeared here at that star, and you emerged. Oops.
Oh.
No. Not that.
Then there was a giant earthquake.
And the land disappeared from beneath you. And you guys emerged over here at that second star.
Got it.
Whoa. Wrong one.
Nope. Don't got it.
This is compelling audio.
Sorry, I know. Okay, there you go. Sorry, everybody. I needed to use the actual awesome Google Drive document. We'll cut this in post. So you guys entered into a grass tunnel, traveled for what you thought was maybe like a half or a quarter mile, and emerged about 3 or 4 miles away.
No problem.
Great. Harcourt's ready to go. Let's go down the river, or I don't know. This is what Harcourt's saying. Or maybe up the river, or I'm ready.
Okay. So as
Harcourt
you
says
guys...
like
White is ready to make camp and go to sleep.
you guys have been traveling for a couple of
Dwight
hours.
is
It is
ready
now
to
early
make camp.
morning.
Dwight, not Mela.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so you guys have managed to get yourselves in the thick of the swamp, and I promised to hurt you tonight and put you into battle, and I apologize. We spent more time getting there than I thought, but I promise tomorrow night is going to be, think Predator meets Jurassic Park. So things are going to get ugly real quick.
One of us almost got hurt.
What's that?
One of us almost got hurt.
You almost came to blows with Moyle Dune, so that was fun.
I took 3 hit points of damage from some kind of raveny deal.
That's very true. You did.
First blood.
Mela almost took
Rambo.
600 feet worth of falling damage.
Except I rolled a nat 20.
Great.
Fat lot of good it would have done you without a rope. Well, that is where we're going to leave off. I promise next night will be full of danger, bloodshed, and high adventure. We can't wait for you guys to join us for episode 7 of the Starfall Collective. Next Monday night at 8 p.m. We'll be streaming live on Twitch and uploading to YouTube, which is probably, let's face it, where you watch this. Anyway, everybody, remember, failure is beautiful. We can't wait to let you watch us fail next week on the Starfall Collective.